Hello, it's Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, and today we're going to talk about adding art to your journal on a daily basis. How to add art to your journal pages on a daily basis. So I'm going to give you some tips. You're going to see me doing some journaling, and this is mostly it's in my creative journal, but it's also, I think there's a little bit in what I'm calling my sketch journal. And I have a couple of different ones of those. So we're going to talk about some of those things. Now, art can be any number of things. Art can be drawing, watercolor, pen, and a little bit of color from markers or any number of things. You can also use collage bits, images from magazines, pictures you've taken. Now, you're going to see me doing a lot of different things in this. The only thing I haven't really done yet is add pictures. I do need to print some pictures out. I'm going to make a couple of tip-ins, and I'll do that in another video. But today I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about why you do this on a daily basis, what you can use, why you'd some of the what and the whys and the hows. Daily journaling, but especially when you are documenting your life by adding images and words, it's a creative practice. And when you're combining the images, words, those things, I think it becomes a creative practice, whether those things are doodles, like I said, pictures, collage, any number of things. But it is a daily creative practice, and you can think of it as memory keeping, you can think of it as a keepsake, you can think of it as a meditative practice. But the combination, for me, this sort of creative journal or an artist journal or a sketch journal, it's just a combination of journaling and sketchbook, adding different kinds of art words to your pages. To me, it tells a story, and it specifically tells your story, and you get to tell it however you want to tell it. Now, I'm a writer. I'm also an artist, and I think of myself in those terms when I am creating my daily pages in whatever kind of journal it is, I tend to think of it as a way to tell my life story, and I get to tell it in whatever way I want to tell it. Now, some days it's collage and some writing, and some days it's art and some writing, some days it's pictures and some writing, some days it is a combination of all of the above. But it's a way to capture your day, your life, because not everybody wants to do it on a daily basis. Some people take a 2-page spread and they chronicle their week that way, which is great for those of us who can't do it on a daily basis. But for those of you who would like to do it on a daily basis, and you may be unsure about it, maybe you feel a little bit overwhelmed about it, you feel like maybe you don't have the time, you can go back in and add bits and pieces. So I'm going to give you some tips for when you're really busy. But I think that sketching or drawing or adding collage bits or pictures, adding creative bits to your journal pages on a daily basis, it makes you more mindful, more in the moment. Now, I've found that the more I sketch, the more mindful and in the moment I am, which is why you see more drawings than pictures in my journals. Now, I like to take pictures. Unfortunately, I don't take a lot of pictures with my phone, because even though I have a better smartphone, it's not it doesn't have a wonderful camera. But my camera is great. So I have made it a goal this year to take more pictures, to post more pictures to Instagram. And I do have some pictures I'm going to be posting today, or at least today and over the weekend. I have a couple of different pictures. I'm also going to be doing a blog post. So I'm in the middle of doing that. I just need to finish it up. But I'm also changing the name of the series, because I just realized that Sketchbook School has something called Art for All, and so I thought that I didn't want to copy somebody else, so I decided to change this to Creative Journal Sessions, the video series. So that's what we're going to call it, and I still believe that art is for all, so I'm going to actually keep that hashtag and add it in there, and then I'm just going to call this Creative Journaling, Creative Journal Sessions. So maybe I'll do that hashtag as well. So daily drawing, well, it's a great way to practice, and anytime you practice, you improve your art. When you're practicing drawing, even if you're practicing adding collage bits and stuff, then you're actually practicing technique and composition and stuff, because you're doing more, it's a form of art, collage and adding pictures and ephemera and stuff like that. It's composition, and you are practicing composition. So, and you're being creative, and every day that we can be creative is better for us, because it develops a creative habit. We are establishing the creative habit, and it's beneficial to us, I think, because I find myself more motivated when I'm developing something that is a positive habit. And when I'm drawing or journaling, adding some kind of art, some kind of images to my journal pages, I'm thinking about what I did. What was important to me? Now, sometimes maybe your ordinary mundane kind of life doesn't feel like it's worthy of a journal page. You know, and we're talking our ordinary daily lives. Well, for example, one of the pages you're going to see, I am sick. I'm trying to do this video while the medicine is working, so, bear with me. But when I thought about one of the days being sick, I got some things done, but I started my morning with a hot shower, which helped open up my sinuses, cold medicine. After I got out of the shower and I drank some juice, took my cold medicine, then I made coffee. Usually I make coffee and the coffee is brewing. I think I did that. I think I started the coffee before I got in the shower, but I didn't drink any coffee until after I'd had my juice and the medicine. I used the little thing off of the cold medicine box and made it collage bit. Made it a collage bit. Because that was an important thing. That was the only way I was able to function for the day, for part of the day, was by taking that hot shower, opening up my sinuses, and taking that cold medicine and drinking that juice. The cold medicine tends to make me dehydrated, so I end up drinking a lot more water and a lot more juice and eating a lot more fruit, because I don't feel like eating big whole meals. So I think after the juice and the medicine, when I got my cup of coffee, I grabbed a banana, and that was what I had for breakfast. But combining some of those things with like images or collage bits or pictures, images from magazines or everyday ephemera like the medicine box, or a picture that you take, or something that you draw, it enables you to put your focus on whatever it was that stood out to you. Now maybe that's one large image, or maybe that's a bunch of images for the day, but that's up to you. Now, one of the things that I'm going to recommend, if you don't have a lot of time, if you're like me and you don't like it, you can journal while you watch TV, or you watch a movie, or you watch YouTube videos. You can put post-it notes, sticky notes down on your journal page. You can do a few things, but you can chronicle your day via some post-it notes, sticky notes, and put it on that page. Or you can keep a little notebook. And this is a little field notes notebook, and you can jot down things from your day in that notebook, put a little date on it, and just jot down like little bullet points for the day. And then you can go back in and fill in your journal pages. Now, creating art every day doesn't have to be a full-blown journal page or a 2-page spread or a 1-page spread. It can be where you started, and maybe you go back in the next day or a couple of days later and you add to it. You can sketch or draw or journal while you wait. We're always waiting in line or something somewhere sometimes. And the way to do that, the easiest way to do that, is to keep your journal and a pen or a pencil with you all the time. Some of us have bigger journals. Some of us have smaller journals. I have a couple, well, let me move my writing book. I have a couple of different sized ones. I have a small Pentalic square one. I'll get it. I'm going to show you some of the different sketchbooks. You can do different things. Your journaling doesn't have to be in the same book every day. You could do all different kinds of things. You could actually get a sketchbook where you can take the pages out, draw little things in it, carry a small sketchbook with you, or just a little piece. You can cut out some squares of, say, mixed media paper or watercolor paper, and you can kind of keep those in a little pocket and or in a little envelope and draw or sketch on those, then add those to your journal pages. Now, the more stuff you add onto your journal pages or your sketchbook pages, the bulkier it will get. But I don't mind a chunky monkey journal. They do get a little hard sometimes to work on once the one side gets kind of chunky, but I found a way around that. That's a good thing. But there are a number of different kinds of things that you can add. Like if you go grocery shopping and you get like a little paper bag, or you go somewhere and you get some food from somewhere and you get a little paper bag, that actually works as great craft paper, and it works great for ephemera in your journal. You can draw on that too. But I add it to my journal pages a lot for background stuff. Tissue paper, wrapping paper, that kind of stuff. It's a good way to add journal fodder to your journal pages. Menus, when you get Chinese food or Italian food or somewhere, and you have the places that have the paper menus that you can take with you, or that they give you. Now certain places they don't give you the menus to keep, but you could actually use the menu if you wanted to. Draw a little thing on a post-it note, or draw a little sketch in your little mini notebook. If you carry a little mini notebook around and it has paper that you can actually use to draw on, you can draw on it and then take that page out. I like having a journal, or making my own journal with pages that I can actually tear out and add into my journal pages. It's really easy to take around a little tiny sketchbook or a little tiny notebook and do that. Now, not everybody likes to draw. I know, it's hard to believe, but not everybody likes to draw, and a lot of people think that their drawing is horrible. But the more that you do it, the better you get. Now, it's not everybody's cup of coffee, but if you don't like to draw, if you don't want to draw, but you want to add art to your pages, you can get children's books at thrift stores, illustrated children's books for 50 cents a quarter at places like Goodwill and thrift stores, you know, and you can pick those up. You can cut images out of those. You can get magazines, cut images out of those. Flow magazine, Daphne's Diary, botanical books and magazines are great for images of botanicals. There are all different kinds of things, and a lot of times you can get things like that really cheap at thrift stores to add fodder for your journal. I have some magazines from a good long time ago, and I just keep going through them. I have had a Daphne's Diary and a Flow magazine. I would like to have more of those, but I'm on my depth year, so I'm not buying any of that kind of stuff. So I do use everyday ephemera a lot for my journal pages, or I create it myself by doing a little journal sketch, or by using like the medicine, you know, the box of medicine. That to me works really well. That's a good thing, I think. One of the other things before I go, because there are any number of books out there that are great for this kind of thing. Danny Gregory has The Creative License and Creativity Matters. Samantha Dion Baker has Draw Your Day. Stephen B. Reddy has Everyday Sketching and Drawing. I have that one book, How to Draw Everything. This is Create Your Own Artist Journal, and this is aimed at more of like nature kind of stuff, like actually getting out there, plein air sketching, and you know, things like that. So, but if you picked up books like this, really cheap at say thrift stores, used bookstores, and you could find them for say 50 cents or $1, you could actually use some of the images out of these kind of books if you're willing to cut up a book. Now, most of the books that I have, those books, I'm not willing to cut up. But I do have some that I have gotten from thrift stores, especially, like I said, illustrated books, whether it's a child's books or a botanical or a science book or an astronomy book or any kind of things, like any of those kind of things. Old class books are great for that. That's a great way to add journal fodder to your pages if you don't want to draw. Taking pictures and adding the pictures with little bits of, like, say, wrapping paper or something that came for your day, like a menu or anything. Like, I've added fortune cookies, I've added bits of menu, I've added advertisements that came in the mail, all different kinds of things. For example, this is part of my phone bill. I could actually cut up some of this. I could use it in my journal. I can print out pictures. I can go to Google and say if I'm reading a book and I just started reading the book or I just finished reading the book, I can find that image. I could resize it to the size I want to go on my journal page, and then print that and put that picture in my book for the day that I started reading the book or the day that I finished reading the book. All different kinds of things like that you can do. And you could also get stickers. There are some great artists that have these wonderful little washi tape and washi sticker kind of watercolor washi tape and watercolor kind of stickers that you can actually buy on Etsy. Some of them are fantastic. You can use some of that. You can use some of that for your journal pages. You could use all kinds of things. There's so much out there, and you're going to see in the journal pages where I've added bits of all different kinds of things. But we're going to continue, and you're going to see me add bits of everyday ephemera. You're going to see me drawing everyday objects. You're going to see me attempting to draw some people. You're going to see me doing a number of things as we continue this series. And I'm not a professional, y'all. I've never been to art school. I took a long hiatus from art. I used to take art classes in school, but everything I'm learning, I'm sort of learning on my own, are some classes. I've taken some craftsy classes. I've taken a journal class from Miss Vicky B. I have taken some courses through Patreon, through being a patron of several different people. I am currently enrolled in Romney's Realm When Frogs Sing 2019, and I just finished up 2018. Now, there are so many great how-to videos on YouTube. You could also do that. I think it's a kids hub or something like that. This guy and his son, they often draw, and they both draw the pictures. I found a lot of how-tos on their videos. Like if you just kind of want to like draw a little illustration of something, like they just did Christmas trees at Christmas. But there are all kinds of ways that we can add daily bits to our journal pages. It's just a matter of preference. There is something magical about taking bits of our ordinary day and making them extraordinary by turning those bits of our days into some kind of form of art and putting that on our journal pages. To me, it's magical. And sometimes I have to think outside of the box and go, well, God, my day I was doing same old. But there's something about my day every day that I can chronicle in a different kind of way, that I can do something with to make it go from being just ordinary to a bit of extraordinary on my journal pages. And I hope that you enjoy the series, and I'll be back with some more again next week. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.